Let me show you the digitals and other supplies I'm using for this year's Halloween cards. I picked this because it's pink and I'm going with the pink and black theme. I love that this is kind of a fishnet effect. The other digital is this one. I love how it's kind of shabby. So those are the two background papers. Comes with caskets. And for those caskets are some pocket fronts and some headstones. You also get some tickets and some stamps if you want to use them. Some ATC cards. I've downsized these to 80%. You get pink caskets, some more headstones. Here are some pink caskets that I downsized to 65% just to see how tiny I want it to go, because this is kind of a petite sized project. And then I have these lovelies. This is a 3-page Shabby Halloween Mini Digital Kit from Carrie Ann English. If you belong to Shabby Art Boutique and get her newsletter, you have access to all of her freebie digitals. This is the ephemera page. It's a darling. This is one of the background collage pages. And I love this one. It's more of a plain paper, but it has spiders all the way around the edges. So those will be fun to use. I also got my hands on some little Halloween cats. I've already downsized this down to 80%. The cats all look like they're the same, but if you look closely, each one's a little bit different. That's kind of a peachy pink. I may have to add some pink to push that over to where I want to go with this kit. And it comes with some pockets. I've downsized those to 5x7. And then VectoriaDesigns, that's Tina. She made this Gentleman Cat's Mini Specimen album. It's for free if you sign up to get her freebie kits. These are specimen cards, and they come with these cats that you can print out and slip down into those windows. And the way she sells it is as a steampunk kit. And so it looks like this, very, very colorful. So what I did was just print it out in black and white so it's more fitting with my Halloween project. I'm going to be using these scraps of cardboard. These are the platforms that separate the cans in a case of cat food. Have lots of them, want to use these as the bases. And then I'm going to use these frightful things. This is Tim Holtz die cuts. I'm going to use the ghouls, the cat, the spider webs. Then I'm going to use this embossing folder. It's just a generic one of webs. Love that. And then I'm going to give this a try. This is a texture fade by Tim Holtz. See, it has skulls. That'll be a pretty spooky effect. Can you see that okay, what that looks like? So I'm going to emboss this, I think, on black paper and maybe even try some pink paper. Here I am this morning making a total mess out of my craft room after starting to cut up some of the ephemera. And I wanted to show you what I'm actually making. They're going to be tag cards. And they'll have a front cover and a back cover and a spine. And then I made these using the Graphic 45 die cut. Does a really good job. This will cut 1 thickness of the cardboard and 2 or 3 thicknesses of your cardstock, just depending on how thick it is. On these dark ones, I've already embossed with that webbing, which is pretty cool. So these will be glued front and back to those. This is what the dark ones look like. And let me show you how the pink ones came out. Love those. I don't think I'm going to put web embossing on those because there's enough activity going on, but those will be glued on as well. I found my charms from last year. Those will be fun. I did my die cuts. I showed you this. Aren't those cute? I love those little frightful things. Those are fun. Found my Tim Holtz sentiments. These are cool. I've used them in the past. The little words say things like, no one would dare, in utter despair. He gave us a terrible scare, stuff like that. Those are fun to use, don't you think? Found my black tulle and some ribbon and this snarly stuff that I'm trying to use up. So now all I have to find is my inspiration to move forward. Because, you know, I just don't want to do pockets and tags. I want to do something a little bit more creative. I don't think I've shared this with you before, but I will right now. When I'm looking for inspiration for a new project, I will brainstorm ideas over a few days and write them down. I also have this Corey Dahman. This is like a screenshot I took off of the computer one day. Here's her prompts. Belly band, book, bookmark, border punch, circle flower, cluster strip, cluster square, collage, concertina, dangle, envelope, file folder, page insert, layered pollock, greeting card, scrap pad, window, transparency, tag pocket, yada yada. I added some things to it. Doilies, print sentiments, die cuts, embossing, book pages, music pages, custom photos, stamping, sewing. And then for this particular project, which is called Halloween Tag Cards, I have Lady Spook papers, which is what I'm using. Resize them. Pumpkin tea, I bought some pumpkin tea to stick inside. Starbucks cards, will buy those. Tulle, I have pink tulle, black tulle. Cat digitals, check. Glue on ribbon closure, it's a reminder. Pink twine, got that. A coffin door, maybe. Black yarn, maybe. Shabby torn paper, maybe. Fold down tags. Charms, check. Gift pocket. Spooky sentiments. I think that, did I write that already down? I don't know, let's see. Cardboard bases, check. Half-inch spine, check. Fold outs, sewing. Need to get my sewing machine out. I always forget that part. Embossed web, did that already. Embossed skull, I tried that. My die cuts, I have spiders, cats, webs, witch hat, ghouls. Black flowers, specimen cards with cats. A shaker element. How about a gauze wrapped mummy of some kind? You'd think with all that inspiration that, you know, I'd be ready to go, but instead, I just reheated this coffee. I'm experimenting around with spines. And the first one I made is pretty substantial. It's the entire height of the card. It's 1.5 inches wide, and it's scored on the 1/2 inch marks so that you get this 1/2 inch spine, and then you have enough paper to sufficiently cover those front and backs. So how I did that was just to take scrap papers like this and score them on my little board here at 1/2 inch on either side. Then folded them in to make these little channel-like devices. And then glued one on the outside and then glued the second one on the inside. Like that. Then I scored it while it was drying so that it's pliable. And I chose this because I think it makes the card more durable, especially if you're going to put goodies on the inside. What I'm not happy about is the fact that the little curved part's not showing here. But I think you could mitigate that by cutting these papers with your corner rounder before you glued them down. So the other idea I'm thinking about is just a shorter one. Wouldn't cover the entire height. It would just be like that. And I would print out my scrap on 2 sides so that if I put it here and opened it up, you could still see the pretty paper on the inside. It wouldn't be as substantial with just doing one on the outside or one on the inside and gluing it down, but I might not need that strength. And the reason why you want to do your spines first is because when you get ready to glue down your pretty covers on the fronts and the backs, those seams won't show. You'll just have that seam right there. Ditto on the inside. Glue them down after, and then those little spine seams don't show. Now, if that's not important to you and you like your seams to show, because sometimes I have seams showing when I do a junk journal just for interest, then you don't have to worry about that. You can put your spines on at any point in time. So first I want to share the design elements of these Halloween tag cards. And I think it's easier to do that if I leave the ephemera out. So that's what I've done. This is just an empty one so I can show you the design on the inside. It's tied with some ribbon here. And the front covers have a really subtle, scary theme or scene going on. This is done with die cuts, and each one's a little bit different. This one has a tree and a bat and a scary ghoul. And then the tops are tied with pink and black tulle. Some of it's glitter tulle. And then they have little charms hanging. This one happens to be a bat. So let's open up the inside so I can show you the design. So you'll see here that this side has crisscross pockets, and then a larger pocket here that's decorated with some tulle on the bottom. They're not all like that. This particular one's like that. They all have these doors though. The double doors were made with a die cut. So let me untie that quickly so I can show you the inside. You can see that this background is embossed spider web. Can you see that? And then there's a pocket here, another pocket, and then a belly band. I love to do a layering pocket thing, so there's lots of opportunities to put small bits of ephemera. And then I have kind of a feminine corsage here in the corner. And here's a little envelope. I have an envelope die that's so cute. So this is here, and it's also an opportunity to stick something there. So let me show you the back. You can see there's more tulle in that opening, and then another little charm. So I think what we would do is outfit it with something like one of the cat cards. It would go right here. So while I'm showing you that, I'll share with you how the cat cards came out. I made some just flat ones that are cards, and then others are little booklets with scary sayings on the inside of them. Aren't those cute? And I also made these specimen cards. Each one has a different cat. Put a lot of pink ink on it so that it'll blend in with my card. So maybe one of these guys could go back here, right like that. Then how about something like this here in this, it's like pocket number 2. Oh, look at that. This is a casket, and then it has another casket tag on the inside. So we could slot that right here. And then how about this scary guy? Let's put him here. And then we need something for this front pocket. So let's put that butterfly. That butterfly is kind of sweet. And for this inside, I have this little envelope that I left open and put a little sentiment, a little scary sentiment on the inside. So let's kind of like tuck that right there. So you can see how I can fill it out. Also, speaking of filling it out, I have pumpkin tea gifts. And so I've taken my scraps and made sleeves for them. See that? So those will slot inside each one. And then I also have my Starbucks gift cards. And so I made these vellum envelopes for each one. So that'll slot inside also. So I think you're getting the design. And in the next segment, I'm going to do a flip through for you. Okay, this one's a nod to shabby chic. Can a Halloween card be pink and black? I think it can be. These are Carrie Ann English's digitals. It happens to be her freebie kit. And the front has a graveyard scene, kind of inked it up with silver to soften it. It's a pretty little charm there and some lovely ribbon. And I think this is organza kind of ribbon here on the side. So we open up and we see that instead of doors, I made pockets on each side. Kitty cat pocket, and then there's this spider pocket. And then I stuffed it. Here's a pretty tag, And then there's another tag inside. I love to do the tag inside of tag look. And there is some string here at the top. Pretty cat. The gift card. Love that tag. It's one of my favorites in the kit. It's another one with some yarn string and some tulle. Here's one of the tea packets. This has the pumpkin spice tea in it. I just used a scrap that happened to have that cutout on it. It's glad to be able to use that up. It's been stamped up a little bit with spider webs. Then it has a back pocket. This happens to be a scrap left over from when I was using the die cuts. And I added some pink tulle here. And slotted down in here is this little booklet. I love how the kitty cat kind of peeks out. And it says, "Don't make me use my wand." Here's one of my specimen cards. It says mischief on it. And then here's a pretty scary lady, but I love how she was shabby. So I thought, okay, that has to go in my shabby card. Here's a spooky cover. I like that tree. I think I shared this with you already in a different segment, but I'll do it again because I added some things. Pretty little corsage there. Fun pocket. Look at the spider has little pink eyes. And I added this casket back here. And it's a pretty little cat. This one has another spooky graveyard scene with a ghoul in the background. Here's a little skeleton head tied with black ribbons. We open up and we see that I've made kind of a big pocket, and it's covered with glitter tulle. And then there's kind of a scary pumpkin wearing an outrageous hat. Isn't she great? She's kind of shabby chic. This is the gift card that's in a vellum envelope. Here's the die-cut doors. There's a skeleton here with a little spider with pink eyes. A little envelope. It says frightful. I left this open so we can peek inside. The very end. I'm a goner, I'll say. Let's check out this little kitty cat. Nightmare on Kika Court. Ha! I wonder where that card is going. Isn't this fun? Tortured Souls. I love these little casket tags. Aren't they the best? And the back has a pocket that is a casket. Undertaker and Embalmer. Look at this dapper guy. How cool is that? This one has a spooky cover, kind of a graveyard. It says spooky. I've left these untied so they're easier to get in and out of. I made a different kind of a door here. Instead of using my die cut, I just used a punch to make this pretty little cutout right there. So, and I left these untied so that we can get in and out of them easier. There's a witch hat that's been adorned and a ghoul. Then we open this up and we see there's a lacy belly band. Pretty little tag. I don't know what kind of bird that is. It's a Halloween bird. Here's a little booklet. When Hinges Creak in Doorless Chambers. And a lovely candle. Some fun stenciling. This side I used scraps to make these 4 pockets. I'm sorry, it's 3 pockets. 1, 2, 3. Strangers have the best candy. Look at that scary guy. Let's pull out this little kitty booklet. I love how they're sort of pouting. Have a spooky Halloween. And back here is a specimen card cat. I used kind of a white vellum instead of clear acetate. Gives it kind of a spooky effect. Something dreadfully wicked. Slot that back here. Fun tulle on the top. And the back has this embossed skeletons. Spooky cover. This is my favorite graveyard die, I think. Look at this. I don't know, it's sort of like monster teeth or something. Tied with tulle. Open it up. And we'll check out the doors on the left side first. There's a little envelope with some tulle hanging and a little corsage. Let's open this up. You can see there are a couple of pockets here. October 31st. Let's pull a few things out. There's a scary hand. It's a devilish pumpkin trying to stay in frame. Don't make me use my wand. Isn't he great? There's some spider webbing back here, embossed. This side has a pretty pocket with a little kitty. Spider with pink eyes. No one will come in the dark in the night. That's right from a movie. Do you remember which one? It's one of my favorites. Dearly Departed. Yes. And there's like a gift card stuck back there. Let's see if there's anything on the back. Ah, there is. There's a casket. Is he dead? Beautiful candle. A little bat there. I love how spooky easily blends with femininity. A spooky graveyard cover. I love this die cut. Can you see that? It's so cool. Then here's another die cut that says boo, and there's a web and a little spider. Very subtle, but it's there. Here's a little bat hanging. Fun tulle at the top. Let's look inside. I've left this open for you. A little cat with a little tulle bow. Here's a little envelope that's been adorned. And a little spider that just slots right in here. Open this up. It says dreadfully wicked. And there's some fun things stuck. There's a pocket here and here both. This is made with a scrap from using the door die cut. Trying to stay in frame for you. Look at that sexy guy. The Bone Garden. Fun pumpkin. What's in here? Something tucked. Ah, a little skeleton. So we'll check out this side. Another one of those pockets made from a scrap. Here's a little spider. He must have got loose from his web. Toil and Trouble. Tome, Sweet Tome. Black bird. Oh, here's our web. And he is out of his web. Let's pull this out. Nightmare on Delta Street. Ah, I wonder where this card's going. And I had room to stick in the little envelope that has the gift card. All of those will be added. But for ease of showing you, I've left them out on some of them. Quickly look at the back. A fun pocket with bat paper and a rose. Spooky haunted house, probably. Admitted he felt creepy. This is like Tim Holt's ephemera that's been added to this little specimen card. And a little witch flying her broom at the top. Here's another spooky cover. I just love that word spooky. It seems to cover everything. A little charm of a witch there. We'll look at this side first. There's some interesting pockets. These were made with scraps. There's a crisscross pocket back there. Scary guy. Pretty cat. One of those fun caskets with a tag inside. Then we have some doors. These doors weren't made with a die cut. I used a punch instead. And I'll show you up close. There's a cat that has a pretty collar. And then there's a corsage in the corner. Spider web with a little spider with some little pink eyes. There's just one pocket, but it's been trimmed with a cutout at the bottom. A little tuck spot, Cryptomaniac. Here's a dapper guy. Here's one of my specimen card cats. Let's check out the back. It's embossed skeletons. And hit it lightly with some silver. I think that's a bat hanging upside down. I love the tulle at the top. Added some ribbon in this particular one.